An siúlóid de bhí abran, lig trocha cethar. Uiscail Seosamh Mac Grianna, mór scríbnóir chuige olúin san líthúis. Haid sé nithe ribhe a sciobal féir. Hannig sé nuas go bruach na lochan seo. Bala na Bhreatain Bheag. Go ní sé hén. Bhí seachtain siúl diantaige. Bhí sé a chamchúirt trasna na Bhreatain Bheag. Go seo muid carú le ciriscóir bliain in sin, ag Leanann Bhealach Grianna.
Seosamh Seán Mac Labhraí, agus is fada mé faoi hríat ag scrínead Sheosaimh Mhic Grianna. Tá mas a Bhreatain Bheag ag Leanann an turais 300 míle a rinne Mac Grianna de hiúl na gás. Bhí rún ige galad le halabain. Scríb se contas cimsí a faoi sa leabhar Mo Bhealach Féin. Ba bhfuilm aichne a chur Mac Grianna agus ar a híchar. Agus lena linn, ba bhfuilm aichne agus ólas a chur winter na Bhreatain Bheag, ar a gultúr agus ar a dír. An seo in Bala, bhfuil seosú le bar de chuid na Bhreatain Bheag. Bhí an ócaid ar cheann de bhuaig fointí a thuris. Agus tá ma héana go le bhfuil le bar dóg a bhain corú na nirí ag an éile mhór náisiúnta an Eisteddfod.
Bore da, Gito.
Bore da, croeso Bala.
So you've brought the crown?
I take us everywhere.
So this is the White Lion where Sheosamh Mac Grianna met the Welsh bard.
Gwych, fantastic, let's go in.
Fuagrim de cha agus, mo hacht chun do hí, agus málam do chaichir, mar chaichir na rí. Byr yn bannacht agus cédlam as éirin nál, chud ga ein arnar yéil, da chud bési na ngál.
This is the last verse of the last poem of the collection that won me this crown at the last National Eisteddfod. It's a poem about how homes in our Welsh language areas are empty, how our structures are diminishing, but how there are new opportunities such as social media, Twitter and so on, that we can grasp and take forward. Ond caid y lygaid ar wacder y coed, a gwranda ar y trydar diarbed, un sŵn ni, un canmol cynhennus, cynganeddion damweiniol yn delfrydau, ymrysonnau ffreithineb y boreau bach, yn gwibio'n drydan drwy oerni'r aer. Mae'r coed yn oeth, ond ni bi ar awyr. The trees are bare, but we own the sky.
Beautiful. Can't pretend or bluff that I understood the entire content there, but certainly orally, lovely guttural Welsh sounds, very appealing to the ear. And I'm intrigued that you have, in your work, you've managed to merge the ancient tradition, the classical tradition, with the challenges facing the young Welsh-speaking population in the modern world.
That's what I aim to do. I look back over the centuries of tradition that we have and try to bring tidbits of that, be it a poem or a tale, and bring it into my poetry, make it relevant to our situations today, to the predicament of our Welsh language communities, and try to put a new spin on it. There's a huge tradition in Wales of poets going from house to house, from mansion to mansion, singing for their supper, basically, singing the praises of the noblemen. But our poetry as a generation today is a lot more cynical. We challenge authority rather than uphold it.
We'll be seeing you again very soon at the Eisteddfod next week.
Yes, at the start of the week, I'm going to be admitted into the Gorsedd of the Bards, the Order of Poets, which is an honours system that we have, and I'm being allowed in because I won the crown. And the Eisteddfod is much more than that. It's a whole week, a festival of dancing, singing, live music, and poetry as well.
One final request, please. Would you be so kind as to don your crown?
Put it on now. It's quite stylish, isn't it? I wear it all the time, but not in the shower.
Very regal.
Yeah.
Very regal.
Quite fetching, I think.
Seosamh Mac Grianna gur casú fear arm seo a bhí in chorthail na rúchas. Seosamh Mac Grianna go bhfuil réimig barde Gymru mar a bhí nar a bhhair na ríthe.
A da bhéad a lúthar buaile leis an bhard. Ní ró géirí go maiith le Seosamh ar a thuras féin.
Shiúil ma síos a chais an lotha agus dhearc mar ma gáid. Ní cén seasca sa 8 míle siúlta gom le 16. Ní do fhaice gom a 10 scilne. Níor féidir ghil go halban ar sin. Dar lom nar ó rud a béirdú a dhéanú a peiliúr an láistíne déagma. Bhí ma céad go 10 míle as Caerdydd, agus vísa gom na mó ní bhó láistíne dithe agam, na ní bhó ihe hanne seamraí bí, ach an bléir fuar agus an trec garta, den bhí a bachíre a chocolm a eile, agus isce an tléfa áil.
Le crí trom agus le casa tarsatha. Hui Mac Grianna Leanann túil a ríis. Ó yes, I dro Caerdydd. A ní dheithe se bhad go bhfuair se ardú manam in a ríis.
Nar a bhí tríd a Caerdydd a bhílte siúlta gom, o'i ma steasta i lean, a bhaile a chanig ma riau sa tír sin.
Dearan gur thóg seo chrí a ríis. Nar a léamsa inis an chéirchuid an oscailtear ma Bala héan is an glean seo a bheits má smúid agus a cefnú. Sá go ma héal hanach ma bhuama an róte na bhíle ma bhéan. An Bala cas geall ar ó sleasa croccar gataíú dá a bod deise na íon crocta bhfuil a geall.
Céan an seanmhóthar stairúil seo Tríd lean hiarnom. Fear do bhain na háite a bhfuil análas ag I sé an Samuel dúlra Yolo Williams.
It was a bit of an accident that Sheosamh Mac Grianna ended up here because his original plan was to continue north from Bala to Scotland, but this was a bit of good fortune for him.
It was a bit of good fortune, yeah. This is quite an ancient route here linking Bala to Lake Vyrnwy. And way back, this would have been an old drover's road.
Yeah.
This would be where they would have bought cattle mainly. Then, of course, taking them to markets eventually over in England. And of course, it's been used ever since. It was an old stagecoach route as well. And it was the way that we from the village used to come over to do a bit of shopping over in Bala. So it's, you know, over the years, it's been a very important route.
And there were certain dangers and hazards historically on this route from what I gather.
There were some very wild Welshmen up on the moors here. Redhead. They were called the Gwychiaid Cochion. It was a gang of bandits, marauding bandits, used to work the moors all the way, well, probably a radius of about 20 miles here. And they would rob people coming over, and particularly drovers. When they'd taken the animals over to markets in England, of course, they brought the money back with them. And they knew this. And they'd wait for them, and they'd ambush them, take the money. And it took the authorities decades before they eventually caught them. Because if you think of these moors here, so many places, if you know it, so many places for you to hide away, you know. So they were wild men, wild red-haired Welshmen.
When Sheosamh Mac Grianna embarked on this hike, he had two primary objectives. One was to source inspiration for his writing, but equally to challenge himself physically. And he covered 300 miles over the route, about 24-25 average a day. That was a tough challenge.
It was very tough, especially way back then. You know, we look at this route now, and all the way along you've got a lovely tarmac road. It's very smooth. It's quite easy walking. But if we were to do 24-25 miles a day, you know, that would be challenging even now. Now, when you've got little more than a path, a track at best, with potholes everywhere, that would have been incredibly difficult.
Rinne Seosamh Bhealach Féin in Leanann go leabhar an mhaí. Lá ghóin ghoratha, a bhfuil star ghoratha ag buintleiche.
Yolo, I'm conscious that Sheosamh Mac Grianna would have been aware of the history of what happened here. A Welsh-speaking community was sacrificed to create a water supply for the city of Liverpool.
Yes, that's right. We're going back now to the 1880s when this dam was built. The city of Liverpool was a growing city. They needed water for industry, but more than anything, they needed water for the people. The people lived in poverty, in squalor. Disease was rife. They were desperate for clean running water. So an Act of Parliament was passed for this dam to be built, and it drowned the whole valley here, 5 miles of it. Unfortunately, it also drowned a village, farms, a Welsh-speaking community, and that community now is under these dark waters. And I remember as a lad growing up here in 1976, the long, hot drought summer of 1976, going to where the village was, and because the water was at a record low, you could see the ruins of the old village of Llanwddin. The bridge was intact, some of the houses were still there, there was a cockpit, and it was incredibly sad. And of course it's happened since then. Hopefully it'll never happen again.
An Eisteddfod náisiúnta, féile mhór bhliain na Breanaise.
Cai ma adwal gymwynyn an eile seo yn anol dw. Smyn y gryf seo holym eisiau caint an Eisteddfod. Agus, niels go gymrach ar hyn sys yn ocaid seo da gynnydd y wala. Stolym gyr masgan da flahiol na herin, erachtas na Gaelig, agus criw omon na herin stil i gilyr go jota. Ghetto.
Barada,
Parada.
how are you?
Very well, thank you. You're fully vested and raring to go.
Yes, looking magnificent. Yeah, I've been given my robe, and then in the ceremony later on at the Gorsedd Stones, I'll be given my headdress as well with leaves in it, and then I'll be a full member of the Gorsedd of the Bards.
I'm overwhelmed by the magnitude of this event. I've just heard that this is the second largest outside broadcast for the BBC, second only to Wimbledon.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a huge event. You'll have seen the huge pink pavilion as you walked in. That's where the main competing takes place, and that's where the crowning ceremony will take place this afternoon. But the Eisteddfod is much more than the pavilion. It's got all these other tents. It's got lectures. It's got singing, poetry. It's like a powerhouse for our culture. It's been called a mobile capital city for Welsh-speaking Wales, and I think that's true.
A mobile capital city for Welsh-speaking Wales.
Yeah, the idea is that for 1 week, we have got one place where everybody can celebrate the culture. Everybody who's interested in the culture will try to make the journey to this small, uninhabited almost corner of the middle of Wales. And here, our culture reigns supreme.
Hi Lisa,
Hi.
nice to meet you again.
Yeah.
And this is the young Bardess.
Yeah, this is Cassie, and I've got a bib here, and she's got a bib as well. It's not quite matching, but she's enjoying her first Eisteddfod.
She's in
Yeah.
pink.
Yeah.
This doesn't signify anything in the Bardic tradition, no?
No, I don't think there are any pink dresses. Are there any pink dresses?
We wish you every success. Enjoy every second. Savor the moment.
I will.
Ac yn gwybod y cofiawn. Heddwch.
Calon wrth galon, a oes heddwch.
Heddwch.
Gwaedd uwch adwaith, a oes heddwch.
Heddwch.
Bhreatain Seán gur mór a trúie na danig Seosamh Mac Grianna an seo a mí lunasa ag an Eisteddfod. Ná bhainir se sult agus pléisiúr millteanna as an cheiliúrú cultúr seo.
Eto Caerdydd, Bwchelyn. Enillydd y goron yn Eisteddfod Genedlaethol Sir Gar yn 2014. Ei enw yng ngorsedd yw Eto.
Is leascliam an Eisteddfod a agel in Moye, a caim a pilliw Bhreatain Bheag Grianna. Yn chuid seo den Bala, bí an scrínar bocht spénta séri.
Bhí má tarsa. Cyn ar o'n deich na hyn jeag da fil se siúlta go móadjin. Bhí na casach a nifniam tamsio, agus go méigin dú an chodjelle den le winch as an tal.
Is a gnáam seo ina chuntas a bhóthaíonn muidine mar leabharí ghfuil spirid agus díchas agus dúthreacht Seosamh Mac Grianna a gal a léig. Móthaíonn tú in san chuntas in san scéal ratha na mín fun ar gal han caintil a daoine ar agus a bhíú, na mín chur síos go mór aige ar an dúlar agus ar an timpalacht, agus tírdú na bhfuil an inis a Jeffrey go fad agus is féidir leis agus Caerdydd a bhainte maith arís. Tá sé spéinte tarsa.
Dá águs iad, bhí cuasaí le héirí ní ba bheas arís.
Ní den chéadúr ar an turas seo, bhí lá millte na hon. Bhí Seosamh Mac muas, agus nuair a tháinig sé ad le stéisiún Abermúil an seo, thuais sé gur hí sé ar an oscú. Agus an sin mar a scríbann sé héan, tháinig na caitheí air. Smuoine sé a galar den tríd, agus bhí an dara minú a thug sé ag tús an aistear i Moil.
Bhuama an fleochla agus an tarse agus an túig na sa dilin me le nuí le i teacht na grap sa bhulach arim agus díirma agus bhreatain me lista na déalaí. In sin, bhar me gira mar an hen agus rint me maithe sa stéisiún. As cinsead a bhain sa stéisiún gar aithne ar a tréin bíú teicid dogam ná nach bíú.
Seo sean tehan stéisiún. Éidir bhfuil cónaí inis ar Arthur Owens.
Well, if Sheosamh Mac Grianna had been doing his hike now rather than in 1934, Arthur, he wouldn't have been tempted to get on the train because the train no longer stops.
No, you'd have to be able to run faster going through Europe at 84 mile an hour. But no, there was none of this year then. It was a biggish station for a little village where we had 2 platforms, one each side. We had a signal box over there. The signalman lived in this house where we live now. The station master lived next door. The booking office was there, and that's where they used to unload and put all the parcels that we used to deliver when we were kids. I can remember going down the road on a bike with 3 boxes of day old chicks singing to me on the way going down the road. It was very exciting around here. And the trains used to run up the sideline up there to Caerdydd, and we used to ride on them, either on the guards van. If Mr. Swain, the station master, was here, we'd have to ride in the guards van. When he wasn't here, we could ride on the footplate, and it was very exciting riding on the footplate. A lot of levers about to pull them, whistles and what have you in it.
But there was also a tragic incident that happened here at Abermúil station, an accident that may well have changed the course of world history, Arthur.
January 21, there was a head-on collision about half a mile up the line here. A goods train and a passenger train. Something had happened in the station here that the wrong token was given to this train going up, and he thought he had right of way. It turned out the one from Newtown had right of way. 16, I think there was, that were killed. On that train, there was an MP from Leanann, I think he was. He got killed. He left some of his estate to Winston Churchill. And they reckon at the time Winston Churchill was near enough bankrupt, and if he'd have gone bankrupt, he wouldn't have been able to be an MP. Well, this bloke saved him, really. And from that accident, all the stations in India, where they got the levers for alternate, there's a notice up above to say, remember Abermúil, to remind the blokes who's working in the signal box.
So a tiny village in Wales became...
World famous.
World famous.
Yes.
Arthur, it's been a treat talking to you. I suspect if we had more time, we could talk here for a lot longer.
We could, yes. Let's look at once they start. Cheers by that.
Tá cric hawl chu jazz na ein bhaile dar casú art riau, agus gan tú dúlis, na hí ag bon na groc, agus an chan chuma a bhir anam dan bhaile. Hatsin an tomul sin lum, ní béir an amharan dar chaime an astar. Díre me se agus chuaime a chasiacht. agus man sonas agus ghlacman am tanra falú da ré Da dargi neud am dunne, ní ghlacud se agus tá sin fír fan dunne santaí, chomai leis an ché santaí.
Fa dhearú hir há, Hanig Mac Grianna ad le Caerphilly. Ní ró ribh inis ach 8 míle slí go Caerdydd.
Nuair a bhain sé Caerphilly amá, bhí sige gur buaigh an tiú leis. Bhí daoine ag spáisteach thart trónaide dónaí a bhí seosamh bocht ag tridir san ga cáiscéama. Hí sé síos ar an éir, dál sé isce, agus dí sé go dtí narthú grabhra go bhhain ar an faic aige. An sin lí sé siar agus rinn sé scíiste go sésta.
Bhí ma astar deanta, bhí brádarim. Tá gur uain duine ceistearm go dtí fáil bhí leis siúl, ba obair gom freighir a chortear. Ba Mo Bhealach Féin Neartaí se mintin agus chrúaí se ba chalainn. Bhí méidil, bhí se deacair, agus ní thorú am diabhil arm sa riamh an rud a bhí bug agus a bhí forasta anú. Bhí tús maid deanta go. Beidir léigin go siúlainn háart ar an dón.
Ag dúram a bhela héin, scríú Seosamh Mac Grianna, Tá síl mór leann den Iliad ag an téad ar dúil a tigfil, agus ní ráthaí an tobar go deán an neár. Agus agus a bharime sé, be me deanú an ólais chun an tobar seo de chlanna gael. Carú bag le bliain an ié sin, scríú sé gur ráthaí an tobar, saoirú 1935, agus ná scríomh sé níos mó. Ach ar rhai, tá má bhela héin agus sihir omlann scrínar a Sheosamh Mac Grianna le fáil go ré ag an phobal. Amar bí smíonlann, higlann tríal an tobar sin, agus fíris go glan filuanta a harann sés. Má dírí linne, daoine a threoir an tobar sin, be muid sésta.
Berlam a bheith cá na bheith ceangailte. Berlam siúl sa ré daratha. Na bheith dal.